And we were just there in this in this car park, and it was outside Madison Square Garden. And being the mid '80s as it was, like we got into this huge sword fight, and the guy who was coming after me was called Faisal. But eventually, I managed to defeat him, completely decapitated him, and then I experienced something quite profound and moving within myself as well. That was just really, really. Well, it was very exciting, and it was really powerful, and I just experienced all of that. And then the police came along and tried to arrest me for murder of all things after that. And so I managed to hide my sword. I tucked it up in the ceiling, I hid my sword and stuff like that. And the police just let me out in the end, and that's where we got to. But there was a really strange time. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm lost. I'm really surprised though. I never thought you had what it takes for decapitation.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to me being born in the year 1536 in the Scottish Highlands, of course. I mean, everyone knows I'm Scottish.
I know what this is.
But,
I know what this is. Finally, for once, I know. This is Highlander, right?
It is. It's Highlander, yeah.
Oh my god. Fantastic. All right, cool. I feel like super pumped. I'm like automatically in a way better mood now because I never understand what you're getting at.
That's the first one you've got in a long time, Brian. I think
I'm not a movie.
What was the last one you got? Yeah, you did get one a little while ago as well, but
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Was it the Scottish connection? Is that what? Is that
the year in the Scottish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pusha says Dark Knight. Huey says it's the story of Twilight. Oh man, I got it before Twitch chat. That's nuts. That's actually nuts.
Oh man, my Twitch chat wasn't catching up then, but yeah. Yeah, it's not the story of Twilight, sadly. No, it's a good film though, guys. You should go watch it.
It's oh man, I saw them when I was like a kid, but I still remember some of it. It's good stuff, man. That's a classic.
Yeah. The best character in that is actually Sean Connery's character, which is a Scottish man playing an Egyptian swordmaster who comes from Spain, who has spent a long time living in Spain, and it's just like the weirdest thing because he speaks in just a Scottish accent. He doesn't put on any Spanish accent or Egyptian accent or anything like that. He's just got a broad Scottish accent because Sean Connery was a legend. Yeah, that's quite. He's the best character in the movie, I think.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to rewatch that too. There was a TV series, right, with Christopher Lambert.
Well, Christopher Lambert was the guy from the movie, so he was the guy. He played the Highlander in the movie. Yeah, he played Connor MacLeod.
Of the Clan MacLeod?
Of Clan MacLeod, yeah. Connor MacLeod of Clan MacLeod, yeah.
Fantastic.
It is a good film.
Did you see the sequels at all? The second and third?
Yeah, I've seen all of the films over the years. I haven't seen any of them for a long time, but yeah, they're actually bringing back the TV show. I'm pretty sure I saw the other day that there was an announcement that they're bringing back the TV show.
Interesting.
Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know how to pronounce this username. On Heos says Jay's wall has changed every stream.
We developing them, yeah.
Yeah,
it's because the office has moved around. So previously, I used to sit facing this wall here, and the cameras were actually mounted to this wall behind the soundboards I'm making. And then we've kind of turned the desk 45 degrees around, 90 degrees around, sorry. And now it faces towards the front, which means I get the light, because the window's in front of me, so I get the light from the window, and it means that I put shelving on the wall and stuff like that. And just to this side that you can't see is the whole Prototypist logo and everything else. It wouldn't be fair of me to show it on stream, but that is just to that side. So yeah, it's all changed a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta change your walls, man. Change your backdrops.
Yeah. Just change your backdrops.
So Jay can look out of his peephole. I mean, Jay has to look out for people breaking in because he's a little paranoid these days.
Yeah, so that's yours and Mintley's fault, is that? A couple of months ago when we were doing the interview with Mintley and we had the stream about mental health, they joked that because I'd just started streaming from the warehouse at this point, which is where I am now, that how did I know if someone was going to break in? Because it's a business. The front door doesn't lock from the inside. It's like an emergency open door, so you can just open it from the outside, and you can only lock it if you're outside the door. So because of that, they were like, "What if someone comes in? You won't hear them with the headphones on. You'll never know." So now I'm facing the window and I'm facing the door, so I can see if anyone comes in. I will know if anyone comes in, so I won't be murdered and beheaded in my sleep or while I'm streaming before I realize it's happening.
Yeah. What's the reasoning behind not having the door lockable from the inside?
So it's because it's a safety feature. So because a lot of the units that I'm in are warehouses, they're designed to have machinery in and stuff like that. So if there's a fire or anything, they need to be fully fire escapable. So the handle on the inside, even if it's locked from the outside, the handle on the inside will open it up. But the door just shuts and there's no lock on the inside. The lock's only on the outside. So you can lock it from the outside so people can't open it to get in.
Ooh,
but anyone on the inside can always open it to walk out.
Okay.
And of course, I've got shutters as well that are on the inside of the door. So I could roll the shutters down. I think you've heard me do that prior to streams before, but it's it's a bit of a pain to put the shutters down and to lock them and everything else while I'm inside. It's all right if I'm leaving, but to do it while I'm inside just feels a bit weird.
Do you have a lock in your your office as well, or is it just all kind of one big open room? Okay.
No, so the office is about 500 square feet here, and it's sat to the front of the actual warehouse space, and then there's 2,200 square feet of warehouse just behind this wall. Well, actually, the toilet's just behind this wall, and then the other side of the toilet is where it is. But I can lock the office door, so if I wanted to, I could turn the lock on the office door. But yeah, if someone's in, they're in by that point. It's all insured anyway, so just need to look after my own safety.
That's right. I mean, when you're one of the Highlanders, I mean.
Yeah, I just got my sword.
You're
I'll be fine.
Yeah, you're being hunted. I mean, you gotta. Sometimes you have to fight other Highlanders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just.
Clan MacLeod's got my back. That's the way it is.
yeah, you're all about the Clan MacLeod. Gio, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. 39 months.
39. How many top Clack babies is that?
About as long as it gets. What's 4? A little over 4, I think. I don't know. I can't math.
Yeah, must be.
Joey Crafted Cable says, "Hey, how are you guys doing this week?" I'm doing all right. Yeah, I mean things could be worse. Yeah, things could definitely be a lot worse. Things
could always be worse.
I'm a little frazzled because like a bunch of my family is starting to get COVID. Not people I see regularly. But yeah, my sister's household just got struck with it, so won't be seeing her for a bit. Yeah,
we lost my great uncle yesterday. So my mother's uncle, he passed away from COVID. I found out yesterday, but he actually died a couple of days before that. But yeah, I found out yesterday, and so it's kind of scary that it's really close. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Could you imagine that there's still people that don't believe COVID is real?
I don't understand. Or people who refuse to wear masks and all of that kind of stuff as well. I genuinely don't get it. I wear my mask everywhere. I carry it around with me. It's in my pocket. I think I've got 2 actually. I've got 2. Literally carry them around with me wherever I go, just in case I need one. So yeah, I don't understand that mentality. I really don't.
Yeah. On a slightly less depressing note, we have Gondo in chat. It's good to see you, man. Hope you're well. It's been a while.
Good, man. Yeah. Bledin has also subscribed for 18 months. He's got 2 top Clack babies, and he actually declares it there as well. He says 2 babies. So there we go.
Wow. Yeah. You know we like it when you clarify how many TC babies are going on in your life.
Indeed.
Oh man. We should probably actually start the stream, should we? I'm just zoning out over here. I'm still not quite used to this time frame, because this is still kind of morning for me, because I've always been a night shift person.
This is 9 p.m. for me. This is a good time to stream.
Yeah, no, I agree. Max Feelings is asking about your locks. Can you replace it with one of those push bars that locks that allows emergency exit?
Yeah, so I don't think I can under the terms of the lease. The door has to be openable from the inside at all times. That's the term that's in there. And there is also a clause that says that it should not be lockable from the inside. So I don't think I can legally do it. I mean, I can still roll the shutters down, but there's also a clause that says you should not have the shutters rolled down whilst you're in the warehouse. And there's all sorts of other rules about I shouldn't sleep here as well, which... everyone takes a nap, so they can go and jump on that one. But yeah,
nice. Jay's ready to whip out the broadsword to protect himself. Is that what you call it, Jay? The broadsword?
You gotta call it something, right?
You do have to call it something. You're absolutely right about that. All right, I'm gonna roll the intro, and we're gonna pretend we're cool, I guess. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Talk Clack. I am Quakems. That's Jay. You probably know us by now. If you don't worry. You're probably not missing out on anything. Yeah, welcome. I'm totally kidding. You're missing out on everything. We're pretty much the coolest people to ever exist. With that said,
I mean, speak for yourself, man. Like, I don't think I fit into that club.
You're way cool. What? Wait, you're way cooler than I am. What are you talking about?
No.
All right, we'll both just be boobers. How about that? We'll just leave it at that. So, hello everyone. We're having another chill stream this week. We did this last week as well. We kind of just let chat take the reins, and we kind of just talked about anything and everything. And surprisingly, I think it went really well live. Sadly, the VOD had some issues, and I know a few people reached out to me and to let me know, and I thank you for that. So basically what happened is we've recently started using this new beta Twitch feature called Soundtrack by Twitch. And it seems pretty effective if you're just one person streaming something, like a build stream or a game or, what otherwise. But when you have multiple people on stream and you have audio incoming from someone across the world, it gets a little weird because Twitch Soundtrack likes to add an additional source within OBS where it can help capture the music, and then basically what it's supposed to do after that is remove the music for the VOD. So the music's supposed to only be a live feature. However, last week that didn't work. The week before, it did work. But last week, it did not work. Last week, it didn't remove the music from the VODs. So not only was the music there, which is, more or less fine, but it actually duplicates the audio from the incoming source. So I had Jay doubled in the VODs. So the live stream was totally fine, but in the VOD, we got a little roughed up, unfortunately. So I apologize for that, guys. I know some people were kind of bummed about it, but there's not...
Double J sounds like a good night, man. That sounds like a good night to me.
It's true. I don't know if you checked out the VOD, Jay, but you sounded very dominant.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah, it's very strange, yeah. So,
yeah,
sorry about that, guys.
Big shout out to Rigid Technologies as well for dropping the bits. Thank you very much for those, man. Appreciate that. Did we miss another thing? No, we didn't. I thought we'd missed something else as well, but there we go. The other reason why we're doing Just Chatting as well today is because we did have someone that we wanted to line up for the show, who may or may not be in chat right now, who decided to ditch us last second. So hope they feel bad about themselves.
It's okay though. It happens. It happens. It happens.
I hope you realize I'm winding him up.
It's totally fine. Yeah. You know who would be really cool for this though? That is in chat that I totally didn't think about beforehand. Gondo. I think Gondo would be really interested and really interesting to see play this little game that we have.
Yeah, so we won't tell you all the details, but we do have a new game that we want to play with guests on the show. So we're really excited to get someone on to do that live, because they're not going to find out what it is or what we're going to talk to them about until we ask them. So really excited to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be like a long-term thing where we kind of gather data from. It's going to be quite interesting. So yeah. So sadly, that's not happening today. It was supposed to, but that's just the way it goes, and we kind of roll with the punches. And there's always another week, guys. There's always another show.
There is, and we've got an extra special show coming up as well with some other keyboard friends over the Christmas period. So looking forward to that as well.
Bit of a Christmas special. Yeah, that's going to be a good time. Yeah, Nathan says I'm in quarantine. Friend of mine got COVID. Feels bad.
Yeah, I was only winding you up, man. I know it's not fair. So yeah, it sucks when stuff like that happens in life. But got to do the right thing. Got to stay in quarantine. Got to lock yourself down. Do all the right things.
Yep, quarantine. Wear masks. All that good stuff. COVID is real. I imagine everyone watching right now probably is smart enough to know and understand that, but there's a lot of people in my locale that do not understand that, so it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks, but the more we work together, the quicker we'll get through it. And now we've got vaccines and things coming out. I think hopefully we'll start to see the world get back together in the next 6 to 12 months, which would be good. Bledin saying he sent off a test today because a co-worker got COVID. Yeah, as I said earlier on in the show, we lost my great uncle Rex, bless him, just a couple of days ago to COVID. So he was in his 90s though. He had a good run. I've not seen him for a long time, sadly. But yeah, he was struggling with it. My cousin rang me yesterday and let me know, and yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's very, very unfortunate. Bledin says working together is what got us in this mess, or what got me in this mess, rather. So yeah,
I think that comes down to employers just need to be sensible and safe as well. So yeah,
it's an unfortunate scenario for everyone, definitely. We're all just trying to do what we can. It's a bummer that everyone has to, like, a lot of people have to leave the house to work still. Yeah, I feel like never mind. We don't need to get into this. There's a lot to talk about there, and like it's been beaten to death. People just need to be aware of it. And I don't want to make this episode all depressing talking about COVID.
No, we're going to talk about keyboards instead, because funnily enough, this is, believe it or not, a keyboard stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. It is dedicated to keyboards, so there we go.
Yeah, believe it or not. So what do you have going on, guys, in chat? Let me know. Let us know what you have going on keyboard wise. What's been going on over the last week? I've been a little detached over the last week or so with keyboards, so I'm trying to catch up and see what's been going on. I have a couple. I have a bunch of keyboards coming in, like, almost simultaneously, which is really interesting. I just got shipping notification for my Heine TKL1 as well as my Project Keyboard Tengu. I have a client build that I just got on the other day, an Ogre 60 from Zekken. That's gonna be that one's not mine, sadly, but that's gonna be a really fun build. And I'll probably be doing a stream of that on Monday, is what I'm aiming for. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Petrov says he's just waiting on Jay.
Yeah, I know what he's waiting for. He'll get it over the weekend. He'll get what he's waiting for over the weekend. Yeah. I've had a few things come in this week as well. I don't know if you saw my last build stream, Brian, but I got the SCOG reboot in, which is actually genuinely lovely, the new percent SCOG. And as well as that, I also got in a very special board. I don't have to hand at the minute, actually, but it's all being carved from... It's a TX keyboard that's all been hand carved in the theme of Athena, and it's got some really amazing engraving detail in it as well. So
a TX loads of cool things. You say?
Yeah, TX board that came in. It's just, as I say, it's been all inscribed and carved and everything else. I bought it off a user on Clack Mekanisk, actually. So yeah, it's just a lovely thing to have.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Heck yeah.
That's really good.
Kakan says. Sorry, Kakan says, I thought this was a Holy Panda shill stream. It is not. It is not. Holy Pandas are alright. They're alright.
We're over Holy Pandas. Yeah. Bledin's got GMK Miami Nights as well coming in. So I got GMK Miami Nights a short while ago. I actually had it sent to Brian, and then it got sent to me. And somewhere between everything, I'm not blaming Brian for this one, but somewhere between everything, the UK ISO keys only got lost out of the kit, which was really frustrating.
Really?
So I have a set without. Yeah. Do you not remember that? Do you remember you sending me the set and then there was like some keys missing? And in fact, no, it wasn't the ISO keys. It was the accent keys. So yeah,
that sounds kind of.
This is quite a while ago now. Actually,
oh yeah,
it's quite a while ago.
Yeah. That was weird. I never found the keys, so I don't think they were shipped to me.
I think that it was never shipped. Yeah, I think that's what happened. But
speaking of, I totally forgot. But I have your crap. I don't even know what this is. This is like a magenta modifier kit.
Yeah, the magenta modifier set. Yeah, it's to go with Sky Dolch. Yeah,
you're pretty to ship that to you.
Yeah, no rush on that one, man. No rush on it. Hawk80 says he's just grabbed an obliterated 75 from Cannon Keys to build over Christmas. That's going to be a nice build.
Nice.
I've got a brutal 60, and I've built what's the TKL? I can't think what is it. No. Not the TKL, sorry, the 1800. Is it the Rect?
The Rect.
I built one of those. Yeah, I built one of those for somebody, but I've not tried an obliterated 75 yet.
If you had a Rect that was E-coded, would it be E-Rect?
Is that Twitch safe to discuss?
I don't know what is Twitch safe to discuss anymore. I'm constantly fearing for my life, Jay, that I'm going to say something on Twitch that people are going to misconstrue. We try to be good boys, but
yeah, we try and be good.
I think compared to a lot of streamers that I watch, we are like saints. So probably not.
Yeah. I think the problem is the people who aren't saints are bigger streamers, so they get a little bit more leniency sometimes. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm making things up there. Obsidian says he's got a E-White 7V and GMK Bleached combo coming, and he's still stressed about what plate and switches to go with. Right now he's thinking drop Holy Pandas and a Flexi Poly plate. And he thought, I prefer a firmer plate if I'm going with tactiles, and I prefer a Flexi plate if I'm going with linears, just as a general rule of thumb. So I probably wouldn't mix those two together. I'd maybe look for something a little bit firmer like Alu or maybe carbon fiber or something like that for the Holy Pandas, but if you go with the linear, the flex plate will be really nice. And secret of secrets, I'm not sure if I should share this, but I did have word from GMK. What day are we on now? Friday. On Wednesday, that Bleached will be shipping to vendors in about 4.5 weeks' time, 5 weeks' time, the 20th of January. Not sure how much I should say on that, but yeah. So hopefully they will stick to that time frame.
Nice. Yeah, I'm with Jay on this one. Tactiles, especially tactiles that are, kind of known for their intensity, like Holy Pandas, I think don't fare quite as well on flexier plates. So I'm fully agreeing with Jay here. Tactiles need a little stiffer of a plate. Linears, I definitely prefer as much flex as you can give me. One Drunk Man says white on black. Zuyen came in from Black Friday on Monday. That's awesome, man. I've been seeing a couple pictures around Discord with the Zuyen, and man, does it look good.
It looks really good.
Big regrets not picking that one up.
Yeah. I had a couple of sets in this week that have been a bit of grail sets for me. One was Analog Dreams, which I finally found. I've been able to find the base kit before, but I've struggled to find the numpad and ISO kit, which I really need. But I did find one. It was expensive, but it was worth it. That came in this week, so I bought the base, I think the Hiragana Sublegends on the secondary alpha set, the Spacebar kit, and the ISO kit, and the novelties. It was $650 for all of them, but I finally got the key set. And the other one I got as well was GMK Matrix 01, which I actually put on the SCOG last week, which is just here. This looks really good. This is so nice. Which we're going to give away in January as well. We're going to give the SCOG away in January because it was a freebie to me from Percent Studio, so we're going to give it away at some point in January.
Heck yeah, man. The Pokemon Kid says, before I do this, let me just say that because we are doing just like a really extra chill stream and we don't really have a dedicated segment or topic we're trying to focus on this week, feel free to ask any questions you want. The entire kind of thing is going to be a chat interaction / Q&A. So we won't necessarily have a dedicated Q&A section at the end like we always do. It'll kind of just be us talking, interacting with chat, answering questions throughout the entire stream. So feel free to tag us. That definitely helps us see the questions a lot easier. But yeah, feel free to just talk away, guys.
I'm just going to interrupt the stream here because something's just happened. My wife's just texted me and said there's an emergency. And then she sent me this picture. She's dropped my Star Wars Lego on the floor, broken it, and then sent me a meme saying, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry."
Can
we get F's in chat for my Lego?
Ooh, very.
I don't think F's are enough for that, Jay, but I think it's a good starting point. Petrov immediately jumps to divorce.
That's
Thomas and ABC both agree. It's very clear this is a divorce situation, Jay. Legos, you just can't. You can't take that too lightly, man. You gotta protect those Legos. So sorry, Jay. It looks like
Siri, divorce. How do I file for divorce?
Okay, I found this on the web for how do I file for divorce.
There we go, guys.
I can't wait for her to somehow like see your like search history. It's just like
I think that would be the least of my worries, to be honest.
Fair enough. Man, that's a bummer. Is that the one that you put together on stream a while back?
No, this is I think it's one of two. I can't tell which it is. It's either my Lego Caterham or it's my Lego Star Wars. I think it's my Lego Caterham. There's the actual picture. I think that's my Lego Caterham that's just been destroyed. Yeah.
Here's what you do.
I'm not certain.
You stream her rebuilding it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yes, we should definitely do that.
Like you and her together stream a rebuild of it, or divorce. I think those are your only two options. I don't think there's anything in between.
Yeah. AKB James is here as well. Hey James, good to see you, man. Glad to see you. He says my new hair's looking sharp. My hair's actually a bit tousled and a bit all over the place at the minute because I have been wearing a hat all day. But it is now nice and short again, and it's comfortable, and the beard's all been trimmed, and it's nice and tidy again. So, yeah, feeling good.
Nice. Karcha subs tier 1 for 18 months. Thank you so much, man. Says heart. Enough said. Yeah, we accept all love around here. We're a big fan of love and wholesomeness. Love and peace. Silly Pears says, should we start off big? Sure.
Go big or go home.
Go big. That's the phrase, right? Go big and go home in quarantine.
Nice.
Instead of that, just wrap that around a little bit.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's good. Huey says, can't even identify the corpse. Truly sad. Yeah, I think it's my Lego Caterham. Like, I noticed the other day that it was looking precarious on the edge of the unit, and I didn't move it. So, yeah, but it does mean she's been in my home office, which yeah, I don't know why she's been in there because there's nothing in there for her to go in there for. So
Jay's gonna get home and have some words. Is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll end up apologizing to her for leaving it on the edge or something like that.
I'm gonna butcher this username, so I'm sorry. Cigar Pruthi is asking, what do you think about JWK linears or Gateron inks on FR4? What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, so the benefits of using FR4 for me is it's slightly softer than aluminium, but it also has a pretty nice sound profile if you want a nice clacky switch. I think it works better with GAT inks than JWK linears. JWK linears, the sound isn't quite there for me from a lot of the ones that I've tried, although there is some new ones coming, which I'm keen to try. I saw Theremin Goat's review of the Alpacas V2, so I'm keen to try those out at some point soon. In fact, the Pokemon Kid, who's in chat, has a whole batch of 300 of those to lube for me before Christmas. So as soon as they come in, I'm going to get a build with them and try them out. But yeah, I'd probably pick GAT inks on FR4 from that choice, I think.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Actually, I have my first FR4 plate build coming in soon. So I got an FR4 plate in my Heine TKL1. I have used FR4 plates before, and I have built FR4 plate builds before, but I have never owned an FR4 plate build before. So this is going to be my first like extensive try with FR4. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll probably go with, I don't know if I'll go with inks, but I think I'm going to go with Gaterons. Yeah, I don't know. I really like JWK switches, but the sound is just always a little off for me, regardless of like the plate and the build. I feel like they're just not quite there. But like they always like feel amazing, and a lot of them have really nice springs, and like they come in a variety of colors. So like I have so many of them, and I use so many of them, but I think I need to take a little break on the JWK train for my next couple builds and go back to good old Gateron. And maybe some retooled Cherry MX Blacks as well.
Nice. Yeah, I used some milky topped black Gatorons the other day for the Skog build because they were just good solid switches that I wanted to use in there.
The old standby.
Yeah, the old faithful, right? That's the trick. Use something that you know is going to be good. Yeah.
That's right. Alto Lebeau is asking, what do you find in a more flexible plate for linear versus stiffer for tactile? What is the reason behind this? Let me reread that because I think I butchered the question a bit. What do you find in a more flexible plate for linear versus stiffer for tactile? What is the reason behind this? Okay, so we kind of talked about this last episode a bit too, I think. But basically, when you have a highly tactile switch in particular, it takes a lot more force to overcome the bump. So like regardless, you're putting more pressure on the typing experience because it takes more force, and when you have that, it's going to translate more reverberation into your flexi plate. That's been my experience, at least. So I don't really know how to eloquently put it into words. Jay, do you have a better explanation for this?
Yeah. So you've got to think of a tactile switch as a multi-event sensation, right? As you press it, you get different sensations. You have a little bit of pre-travel usually, then you'll have some sort of bump to come over, and then you bottom out. And because you've got that bump, that adds additional kind of pressure. So the actual actuation point might be slightly heavier than what the pressure to bottom out is needed to be. So you have to press it harder to get it over the bump, and then the amount of pressure you need reduces instantly. And then most people with tactiles tend to bottom out straight away. And what you find is that sometimes if the plates are really flexible, the flexibility of the plate is actually less than what the pressure is needed to get the switch to the actuation point. So you start to get really inconsistent feelings depending on where you type. Sometimes you might type in the center of the board and the key will feel like it's bouncing before it actually gets over the bump and then actuates, and it just feels really mushy. Is the technical term I would use for that. Whereas with a linear, because it's a straight up and down motion, as soon as you hit the bottom, then you start to feel a flex in the plate, and then it comes back up, and it feels like a nice linear transgression from key switch actuation through to bottom out and then into the flexibility of the plate, and it feels cushioned rather than it feeling mushy. If you have a stiffer plate with tactiles, you get that tactile event over with however you press in the key and however heavy your spring is. You get over that tactile event, you feel the tactility, and then you bottom out and you get a nice clack, you get a nice sound, you get a nice confirmation that you've bottomed out because you've got a firm plate without getting any mushy feelings. That's my interpretation of it anyway.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it too. It feels a little wonky and inconsistent in my experience.
Yeah. Tomasi2112 says I should just live in my store now the wife's broken my Lego. Yeah, maybe. There's no shower here and there's no bed here, but there is a couch. Well, there's two couches actually, but there is a couch, so maybe I could live here for a few days.
Silly Pear is asking a good question here. This is what I was referring to this week, Jay. Remember before the show when I was like, oh yeah, something happened, but I couldn't remember. This is what I was talking about. He says, how widespread do you think the artisan counterfeiting was after the revelations earlier this week?
So my take on this is there is always counterfeit artisans out there. Like, you can go on AliExpress and places like that, and you can find copies of most of the most popular artisans. You want Kippuras and everything. Not condoning it at all. I think it's terrible, but they are out there. What happened this week was a specific maker decided to use some of the more popular and more valuable keycaps on the aftermarket to use as tests to help him learn how to cast, which he did, and then he made a few, and it seems like a few of those got sent out to a few different people, and people were trying to ask for certain bits and pieces, and it feels like a lot of people just messed up. Right, they did things they shouldn't have done. It doesn't seem like there was much in terms of people trying to pass them off as legitimate items. I haven't seen any confirmation that anyone tried to actually sell these or trade these as legitimate keycaps. It was well understood that they were fakes, but they still shouldn't have been faking either way. So it is what it is. I think people have been punished by the community in terms of who needs to be punished, and different communities made their different decisions on how to react to it, whether they've issued bans or trading bans or whatever else it is, and I think that's it. I don't think this particular episode was kind of really wide and broad spread. It was just a few people that started out trying to learn how to cast keycaps, nice. Did that by copying a couple of existing ones, and then they probably just took that a little bit too far. Instead of trying some of the techniques, they probably took a little bit too far and sent them between each other, and it should never have got to that stage. So yeah, I think this is lesser widespread than some of the major counterfeiting stuff that happens, but this is probably more emotional for a lot of people that are involved, because these were seen as friends and peers of people who do make those artisans. So that's why it was probably a bit more newsworthy, should we say.
For sure. Someone asked what the situation was, but you just explained it very well, so there you go. Morgan Carver said, did Christmas come early? Getting some double bearded men in the middle of my day. Oh my, yes. However, speaking of Christmas and bearded men, stay tuned for our special, which is I think on the 23rd. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, 23rd.
We're doing kind of a collaboration stream with some great streamers. on the 23rd, and there might be more beards there than you can handle. Potentially.
More beards,
we'll
yeah.
See what happens. P.O. says D-hatted Jay is back, looking good. I like Jay with the hat, personally. I gotta be honest.
I do have a hat here. I've got like a few hats that I wear, but I like to wear them in the workshop because it's cold out there, and it's also been raining today, so I've had a hat on today most of the day. But so my hair is a bit tousled and a bit messy, but yeah, it's nice to have short hair again. It's nice to feel under control in that kind of area. So yeah, and the beard, I'm pretty happy with how the beard came out. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, you're looking swan yay. There's your word of the day, by the way.
Swan-yay? What's
Swan
that?
Yay.
I don't know this word.
Look it up. Hold on, wait.
Okay.
It's kind of.
You want to do it now?
What?
You want me to look it up now?
I'm trying to remember how to spell it. Oh wait, here we go. Soigne.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, French. Yeah.
Dressed very elegantly and well groomed.
Elegantly done. Operated or designed, well groomed. I didn't know that word. I like that
Swan
word.
Yay. That's word of the day, everyone. There you go.
It's the past participle of sonye, to take care of, which comes from the old Germanic sunne. There you go. Interesting. Well, there we go. We learned. Today's a school day, guys.
That's right. We gotta have some kind of education. I think we're using the educational tag, so we have to have some kind of education in here. Porcupine, what's up, man? Says yo, hello, bad boys. Are we bad boys? I thought we were good boys.
Yeah, we're good.
I guess we could be bad boys. I don't know. I just don't know.
Vogon is here as well. He says, "Oh hi, great time for the new show. 14 months. Yeah, we're trying out a new time. We thought we'd give it a try for a month or so. This is our third show at this time spot. We're going to do. I think this might be the last one of the. No, we'll have one more this year, won't we? We'll have one more show this year after the dual stream next week after the Christmas special. We'll have one more show between Christmas and New Year, and then we'll see what you guys feel about the timing. Whether we go back to our old 2 a.m. UK time, 6 p.m. PT time, or whether we stick to this new time. And yeah, we'll see how the vote goes. See what people like, what they dislike, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of positive comments from non-US people, because the time is obviously a lot more friendly. Originally the time was always kind of structured around US people because, well, myself and Man of Interest were both in the US, so that's why we always did a US time show. But now we've tortured Jay for, I don't know, the better part of 2 years now, so we maybe we can give Jay a bit of a break and not have
it's 2 years in 2.5 weeks since I've been on a show. The 3rd of January 2018 was my first show. No, 2019 was my first show. So yeah, it's been a while.
It's true.
No, 2018. No, 2018. It was 2018. Yeah, it'll be the whole second year, so it'll be 2 years. Yeah, that's right. Okay. No, 2019. Yeah, 3rd of June 2019.
Yeah,
losing track of the years, guys. Losing track of the years.
Yeah, you came on the beginning.
2019, all 2020. There we go. Yeah.
Beginning of 2019, and then you were here 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Pio says, "Can I join? I have a bear too." I have a bear. Oh, he means beard. He just missed the D.
Maybe he means bear.
He did clarify later on he meant beard, but maybe he just wants to bring a bear with him. Yeah.
Remember, we have a running bear joke now in our tip command. I'm trying to remember why we did that now.
Because you said bear with me, and I was like, "Where's your bear?"
We were looking up bears on Amazon or something too. Man.
Yeah.
Where does the time go? Where does it go? Speaking of Vogon, if you guys haven't checked out one of the newest episodes of The Thok, hosted by Vogon, Jay is making an appearance on there, and it was a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We had a really good conversation. It didn't feel like I was being interviewed. Vogon is the master of making you feel comfortable. He's very good at that.
Yeah, he's what we call a word wizard.
Yes, I would agree.
69 viewers, nice. I'm showing 84, so I guess that was a little bit earlier.
I'm showing 92, so I don't know.
Who knows? I try not to worry about
things, chat. Just Twitch things. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people are watching. It could be 5, it could be 1 million. I don't care. Yeah. Aneos says, I imagined Kanye as a swan. Oh, when you said Swanye, he was thinking of Kanye as a swan. Yeah, that was where my first head went to. Yeah, it was like, is this a Kanye reference? Yeah.
Oh man. Pio says good pronunciation. Apparently it also means heel in French. Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. Sanjay as a swan. Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to think about anything else for the rest of my day. Thank you very much for that.
Morgan Carver says, is anyone else noticing how long it's taking to get cables now? I bought Nautilus 2 from Space Cables in like March to April and still don't have it. GMK is starting to take 16 months to get caps out and cases are getting pushed out multiple times. Are we still blaming everything on COVID, or is it possible people are getting more lax on when things should be shipping? I think from my experience on the vendor side of stuff, I think a lot of things are delayed, not just because of COVID and not just because of shipping restrictions and things like that, but it's because of the sheer amount of volume people are trying to push through. So GMK has had to ramp up considerably in terms of how much business they're getting, and they don't want to turn business away because why would they? So they're having to build on new machines, they're having to increase productivity and capacity and all of these kinds of things to try and bring those timescales down as the community grows and expands, and there's more and more people wanting more and more stuff. So things like cables, the lead time is going down. I know Ragan from Space Cables quite well, and I think he's increased to 10 members of staff now or something like that. So people are trying to get through volume, but the sheer number of people who want stuff now in the hobby, in the community, has just grown, and it's now on the vendor side of things, the company, the business side of things, to try and grow to meet and match that demand. It's just taking a little bit of time to catch up. It's going to be, because of the way we do things with group buys and chicken and egg scenario, it's kind of like going to be a stepped process. Like demand's going to go up and we'll slowly catch up to that on the vendor side of it, and then demand's going to go up and we'll slowly catch up to it on the vendor side of it. I just feel like it's going to go through those steps. We saw it a few years ago when Signature Plastics was all of the keycap sets just ran through Signature Plastics because everyone wanted SA. That's kind of flipped over to now to GMK, but lead times will increase until capacity increases.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out, I think, that not only is, like, COVID aside, the community is just naturally growing a lot right now because of, lots of different reasons, Teha types, we're getting more and more reach, we're getting a lot more, reach in the gaming community as well. It just also happens to coincide with COVID. And a lot of people are, now they're working from home, they're playing more games, they're getting more people are getting more interested in the hobby because they're quarantined at home. So we're getting more and more people from more and more sources for more and more reasons. And, I think the hobby is just kind of taking off a little faster than people thought it would, I guess. And a lot of people are having some trouble keeping up. Like you mentioned, 10 people on staff. Like for a cable maker, that seems insane. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Yeah.
If you look at like any vendor, like Novel Keys or like Dixie Mech or My Keyboard, like they don't have 10 members. Like that's crazy. So maybe cables are just extra popular right now as well.
Well, I think you have to think about it that the vendors, we tend not to do manufacture. So Dixie and Canon Keys and things like that, they tend not to do manufacturing in house. That's paid for, and you use a manufacturer in China or wherever to produce your stuff. When it's cables, you're making them in house, so you have to have someone there that's coiling the cables or soldering the cables or whatever. So that I think it's very much a difference between whether you outsource production and you act as a vendor, or whether you're actually a manufacturer, which people like Space Cables are. So I think the volumes of staff kind of work differently. And Space Cables is expanding as well. He's recently started doing GMK sets and other things, and he's kind of moving into more of the vendor space. So yeah, big changes.
Nice. I remember back in the day, I used that term, kind of ironically, because it was like 5 years ago. But a lot of the vendors at the time, that's what they started out doing. Cable making was the thing that you did to get you into being a vendor.
Yeah, there's loads of people like that that started off making cables, and there's some people who are damn good at making cables and still do it today. People like Pexon, who's been in the game for 7 years now making cables.
Pexon,
yeah, Pexon Cables. Yeah, he still does them. He churns out some really high quality stuff, and he's still going at it. So yeah, it's good to see.
Huey says there's a lot of Brits in here. Yeah, new time, a little bit more UK friendly.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Mr. Petrov is asking us a question. He says, I'm about to resolder my J01 to take out the current switches in it, UHM WPE stems, which don't sound the best IMO. What's Jay's preferred linear switch for the J01, non-vintage? my favorite build for the original JO1 that you have, Petrov, is the carbon fiber plate with inks. That is my favorite build for that board. It just works so well. It works so well in the new one. It works so well in the JO2, just due to the way the board's designed, I think.
Yeah, this is a really good question, because this brings up something I like a lot in the hobby, which I think a lot of people tend to overlook when they buy boards, because I feel like the average person in the hobby, they join a group buy for a board, they get it and they build it with whatever they want, and hopefully they're happy, right? But if you think about it, almost every board is kind of designed around a specific vision that the designer has, and like a certain way they want it to feel and sound, right? And usually that'll involve some sort of particular configuration. And this is something I pay a lot of attention to, and I try to build some of my boards around too. Like the Iron 165, for example, is designed to use like a specific level of tactile switch. Like that's the vision. And if sure, you can build it any other way, and it'll probably be amazing. But I'm always interested in the specific like vision that a designer will have. And for this reason, I build other boards around the same kind of thing as well. So like for the tinned, like I'm going to be building the tinned based on Leandrin's specifications. I'm going to be building my Heine TKL1 based on Heine's specifications. And I want specific typing experiences based on how the board was, originally envisioned. And I think that's it's really cool to kind of do that, in my opinion.
I quite often join group buys, and instead of picking a color for a board, I'll say to the designer, look, you pick what your vision of the board is for me. You send me the color, the design, the layout, whichever versions the board has, whatever options it has. You send me the version that you think is your version of the board, whether that be black, red, orange, green, wing keyless, 60% HKB, whatever it is. I want to see what they think is that. If they were going to build their own board, which options would they pick? That's what
exactly.
I want.
Yeah, you're buying a vision. You're not necessarily just buying a product. And it's kind of fun. It can be very fun and you can learn a lot of new things too by just kind of tailoring it to the way it was envisioned.
Absolutely. Sir Fortuna comes back and says, this time is pretty nice for work and lurk. That's a good phrase, work and lurk. I like that.
Work and lurk.
That.
Yeah,
it's like Netflix and chill, but for working hours, right?
Yeah, I imagine a lot of our US viewers are currently still working, or just now getting off work on the East Coast, perhaps. But it says 11 p.m. UK and whatever time Brian would be there. I think it's an 8-hour difference, so that'd be 3 p.m. for me.
Yeah, it would be 3 p.m. Yeah. 11 would probably be a little bit late for me to start on a Friday. Yeah, that would be a little bit late for me to start on a Friday. Still better than 2 a.m. on a Friday morning, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't complain about it, like, at any point.
I did, just not to you. That was
that's fair. You're yeah. To me, you just like never complain. I'm like, you should probably complain a little bit sometimes.
Fire Bazooka says, remember when SA had 1.5 year lead times? Yeah, I absolutely remember that, man. I absolutely remember that. I remember going for round like 2 or 3 of SA Commando, and it was like nearly 2 years from paying to get my caps. And if you go back to the really old days, the 7-bit SA round group buys that he used to run on Desk Authority, I remember waiting 3 or 4 years for some of those caps. Like that was just the accepted thing. That was just how it was.
Yeah. Porcupine says, I'm looking for a good display solution for Keebs. I am tempted to get IKEA picture shelves, but not sure if they are strong enough. Any recs?
They're not. Yeah, so the IKEA ones, at least here in the UK, on the joins here, they're just glued on the edge, so they snap open over time. So you fasten this part to the wall and you screw it to the wall, and then this part is hinged like that. And that just snaps over time if you put 2 heavy boards on it. And then on this side there's a little hinge as well, but the hinge is open so the board would be flat on the edge that it would open flat down your wall if you broke the glue. So they can break quite easily. I would advise against those. You can get some pictorial shelves like I've got here. These are a local maker in the UK, so you won't be able to find them, but they are all one piece, and it's just basically milled out of a piece of 2x4 or whatever. They start off with, and they mill it out. So those are the better picture shelves to look for. You want the solid ones rather than ones that have got a glued hinge in them.
Yes. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that because I'm not too familiar with that particular type. I have these that are just bookcases behind. These are just cheap Amazon bookcases. Not very high quality, but they're strong enough to hold keyboards, thankfully. So that's what I have. But I think something like what Jay has is obviously significantly more elegant.
The only problem is you can't type on them when they're on these. That's the only problem. I do have another shelf, like one of those floating style shelves that's just over on that wall there, that actually has keyboards laid on stands, but again, it's too high up to type on them, so yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Anheos says, joining this community made me go away from the gamer aesthetic / marketing. You've been enlightened.
That's not a bad thing. Yeah.
You now have an open mind. Congratulations.
Charlie Rangel says the optical Gatorons are smoother than I thought for $55. I recommend it to everyone starting. Yeah, Gatoron opticals and all optical switches are smoother because they don't have leaves inside, so they don't have contact points inside other than the stems on the rails. The issue is finding good PCBs that are compatible with optical switches because you can't just use any PCB. You have to use an optical standard PCB, and they're not as common as they could be. Is the bomb answer to that? But yeah, optical switches are pretty smooth.
Yeah,
I think the nicest ones I've tried optical switches are FlareTech ones, which came in the original Wooting 1 boards. Those are super smooth. They're probably the nicest feeling linear switches I've ever tried, but they only work in the Wooting, which is a mediocre keyboard at best.
Yep. I mean, we're like starting to do cool things with switches, but like our platform doesn't really support it. It's very, very particular, very specific setups, which are kind of unfortunate. I think the GK64 also supports optical switches, I think.
Yeah, I think it does. I think that's one of the few boards that does support them. But then again, you're limited to that layout. And I think that uses the Chinese style 2U left shift, I think.
It does.
I think.
Yeah. 60, the arrow key is 60%.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Pio says, my company owns Twitch, but somehow I don't think that could validate work and lurk.
Hey man, I'm pretty sure you could claim that's a work.
You are studying a piece of your company. They have to appreciate that, right?
Yeah, like if you were watching an advert for the company, would that be part of your job? I think you could argue that, and Twitch is basically a video service for your company, right? Same as Amazon Prime. I'm assuming you work for Amazon. If you do, watching Amazon Prime it's giving back to your business, right?
It's true. Yeah, you can kind of review and rate the content on your. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Just assume it'll be fine. Just assume it'll be fine. I think that's the trick.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Nubs of Fury is asking, what do you guys think of the Monarch Windkeyless 65?
That's the one with the knob on the right hand side. It's like an Evolve, but without an F-row, I think, if I remember rightly. I'm not sure.
I know I've seen it, but I'm gonna have to refresh my brain here.
Yeah, I think it's okay from what I remember, but I haven't looked it up for a while.
I'll put the IC link in chat.
If I remember rightly, it's the one that's got the insert, like the HB6, the HB, is it the 85 or something?
Sort of, yeah. Yep, has the knob, has the exploded aero nav cluster, windkeyless blocker, and yeah, it kind of has this inlay. Is that in group buy now? Is there a group buy thread for this?
Just open the link. Yes, it is the one I thought it was. Interest check only, I think. Not sure. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I like the fact that it's got the interchangeable top piece. I like that a lot. I still covet the HB85. I still absolutely want one of those. And there's some other great boards that have got that design as well. James from AKB knows exactly what I'm talking about there. So yeah, I think it's all right. I think it's fine as a board.
Oh, there's a group buy thread. Sorry, guys. Here you go.
Oh, is it nice?
Whoops. That's wrong chat. Yeah, so I know did we cover this when it was an interest check? I guess that was what, September? So maybe not. Maybe we were.
No, we were already away
off
from doing the news by that point. Yeah, we never covered this in Interest Check.
I mean, it looks really fun. I'm a big fan of the inlays. I've always liked the boards that do that, particularly the HB85. I think it's just a really neat, kind of fun extra on the keyboard.
Yeah, I like chunky bezels as well, so this is kind of like the thing I like as well. I'm not keen on the fact that it's a sandwich mount plate underneath that. But yeah, it looks fine as a board. I think a lot of people will like it in their collection. Oh, it's top mount, not sandwich. Sorry, I apologize. I was looking at the diagram slightly wrong. Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah,
it'll be
nice.
fine.
Looks fine. Yeah. I have no real bad things to say about this. $500 plus shipping. Okay, well, that's. I feel like that's relatively standard these days for a really nice keyboard, right?
Yeah, it's a standard price these days. Yeah.
I remember I used to see $500 kits, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And now it's like, well, that's par for the course.
Yeah, prices are going up and things like that as well.
Yeah. Remember when like you were ostracized from the community for like trying to sell a keyboard for $1,000? And now like most keyboards are like over $1,000 on the aftermarket.
We have keyboards that sell for retail $1,000. So, hey, we're in that ballpark now. I actually had someone message me the day and they were like, "Can I buy a JO2 off you?" And I'm like, "I don't have any. There is none that I have to sell. I'm afraid. You could wait for the vendors." He came back. He was like, "I found someone willing to sell one for $1,400. Is that a good price?" I'm like, No, it was less than $500 in the group buy. Pay group buy price for it. But yeah, it shocks me as to what people ask for products these days. Like they get shipped. It's just so weird. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. It baffles me.
Yeah. Prilosec asking, Christmas pudding, yes or no?
Yes, big yes. Best part of Christmas is the Christmas pudding.
That's a UK thing, right? I don't think we have Christmas pudding.
Yeah, it's like a malted dessert that's kind of like full of treacle and dried fruits and all of those kind of things. And you add brandy to it and all sorts of alcohol, and then you do like a brandy sauce with it, or some people do custard with it, which is fine as well, I guess. But yeah, Christmas pudding is a good thing.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, sign me up.
It's delicious. It's really heavy, and like you can't eat a lot of it because it's super rich, but it is so good. It's so good. Yeah. And speaking of Christmas treats, I don't have it here anymore. We're already taking it home. But today I got a massive hamper from GMK. They just sent me a massive hamper of German delicacies, Christmas delicacies, which was amazing. Really? It had like Stollen and gingerbread houses and like little gingerbread biscuits and these star-shaped biscuits and tins of food and stuff like that. There's some really, really nice stuff in there. So I'm going to really enjoy that with the wife over the Christmas period.
That's awesome.
So thanks to guys from GMK, whoever it was that sent that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
ZE Ant says beige equals open mind. No. Beige equals big brain.
Beige equals good.
Yeah, beige is good. I like beige. I'm a big beige fan.
Same.
Go figure. The colorblind guy would prefer beige over vividly portrayed key sets. Big surprise. Just catching up a bit on chat now, guys. Sorry.
Anarchy says limited with retaining MX mount and also the physical limit on switch volume compared to vintage switches that had more freedom for construction. Yeah, so I think you're right, Anarchy. So when we were talking about switches earlier on, a lot of the old vintage boards had some incredible mechanisms to make them mechanical keyboards. Like they were just unbelievable. Like you look at Hall effect switches, and Anarchy's brought some of the vintage boards that he's got. I don't even know what they're called, but they've got these huge columns of like whole actuation stuff inside them, and each keycap was like a whole tower of switch stuff all the way down. It's kind of crazy stuff. The MX mount does limit us in terms of there's kind of like there's a finite point where they will never get any smoother, and they will never get any different in terms of feel or anything else. There's kind of like finite limits in the whole MX design to kind of keep within that MX footprint with a leaf and everything else. You're going to hit like a development block at some point, and I suspect we're getting closer and closer to that. So the real question for me is, what's next? What's after MX style switches? Is it optical switches, or is it something a little bit different?
Yeah. Japanitrat is saying, waiting on a 60% version of the HB85. You and me both, man. HB85. You and me both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, HB85 is awesome, but it's enormous. It's like, that is your desk. Like, it's so big. Built-in wrist rest.
I'll make you a deal. If they release a 60% version of the HB85, I will buy that and send it straight to you in exchange for your HB85.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Nerdy says, isn't the average price of a kit around $650 now? Is it? I mean, the average.
I don't know. Maybe.
What do you guys in chat think? What do you guys, for a premium high-end keyboard, enthusiast grade keyboard, what do you guys think the average price is now? $650 seems a little high to me, but I mean, you're right, Jay. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, we have like $1,000 class keyboards now, like in group buy. So maybe $650 isn't that crazy when you consider, you know, a lot of the keyboards are around $400 or $500, then you have some that are $800, $900.
Nerdy is right in one thing he says, though. He says that something like a 33% increase in board prices from exactly a year ago. Yeah, so when I've got some prices of stuff from projects I've run over the past couple of years, and prices are from the manufacturer I've used, and they're about a quarter more expensive, so about 25% more expensive. So there is an increase in the cost of aluminium and the prices that these companies are charging as well. So part of that is just due to the aluminium supply, and 6063 being a little bit more expensive to buy and produce and things like that. So that gets passed on, and that's seen in group buy prices. Volume doesn't always account for the same economies of scale as price increases from manufacturing standpoints do. So it's a thing.
Japanitrat is saying, remember the price of the M65A? I do. So of course that was the Rama and Clack collaboration a few years back, and that one started, I think a base kit was as low as like $250 before shipping.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cheap. Yeah,
for like the nylon bottom and the aluminum plate version. Which did come with a brass weight as well. That board was spectacular for the price, but that board was kind of an outlier because that board was actually it was designed to be as cheap as possible at the time. Like, that wasn't supposed to compete with like other $500, $600 class boards at the time. It was supposed to be one of the boards that like everyone could afford. Originally, it was touted to be under $200. Sadly, they couldn't get it that cheap, but like it was supposed to be a board that everyone could afford. It wasn't supposed to be some crazy high-end $500, $600 affair. What a throwback, man. I remember that group buy very well.
So do I. I never got my board from it, but I did get one of the additional M65 colours afterwards. But yeah, I remember that
I was lucky enough to be one of the first people that got the boards, because he brought mine to a Seattle meetup, and I just got it from him there, and that was incredibly lucky. He gave one away at that Seattle meetup too, which is pretty cool.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I got lucky. That was a cool board though, man. I missed that board. I sold it a while back, unfortunately. It's a really cool board though.
Sucks. Aneos is back again. He says, "Oh, actually, question for Jay: how do you feel when you see your designs being flipped on /r/mm?" Okay, so first of all, I don't really class myself as a designer. I work with other people who are far more talented than I. AKB James being one of them. He's in chat right now, and people like Flex and Yankar and stuff like that. So I don't really class myself as being a designer, but the ideas are what makes, but it's kind of my ideas and they make them a reality with me. And it's kind of like a mutual, it's like a symbiotic relationship. We work together to get the job done, right? But I don't like seeing people pay more than what the group buy price was for something that I've been part of, something that's been one of my projects. It doesn't frustrate me as it does sadden me. And it's not because I'm missing out on the money or anything like that. I'm not fussed from that side of thing. I just see people having to pay more for something that they want than what someone else paid for it, and it just feels a little bit unfair. But I completely see why people do increase the price or sell it for a bit more of a profit and things like that. I get all of the reasons for it being a free market. I'm just not sure I agree with it.
Yeah.
It's difficult to answer. It's difficult to answer. I wish that everyone could have everything for group buy price. That's what I wish, but it's never going to be in that kind of position, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as you know, for better or worse, it is absolutely a luxury hobby, and the people that have more money are going to more often get, you know, the good high-end limited edition stuff. It's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, no one, it being a free market like this, no one's entitled to anything. So I mean, it's a bummer that a lot of people like aren't able to get like stuff that they might otherwise be able to get. Like if someone could afford a $400 or $500 JO2 but can't afford a $1,400 one, like it's a bummer, because like now they're probably never going to get the board because they can't spend $1,400 on it. And I resonate very well with that, because that's been my experience on a lot of things as well. Like there are just boards that I'm just never going to be able to get now, and I've kind of just made my peace with that. And it's like, well, you know, you can't afford them, so you can't get them. I get it from that end, and it's definitely a bummer. So yeah, more JO2s, Jay, I think is the takeaway here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's actually a couple of people that have approached me around commissions for them over the past couple of weeks, so those are starting to move ahead, and there's some more movement in that kind of space. So yeah, there will be more JO2s out there, I think. I'm not sure if it'll ever go back into group buy or not. The price of production, I know we talked about the price increase of literally just aluminium and brass earlier on from Nerdy's comment, but yeah, I don't think I could run. I'd have to run significantly more volume if I did it again to try and get the prices the same as we did last time, which is just it's a sad fact, but that's where it is.
Jornison is asking, what was the initial price on Strike full set? GMK Striker? Is that what you're going for here? If so, I believe that one was a $100 base kit.
I thought it was 110, but you could be right. Yeah, it was pretty.
It might have been
cheap,
110.
yeah.
It was either 100 or 110. It was very inexpensive for a base kit.
Yeah. Vogon PT coming through. He says, the real question is, Jay, did it have Volkswagen sausages? I assume he's going back to the GMK hamper that I got today. It did not have Volkswagen sausages in, but I have seen that people do get Volkswagen sausages if they get a hamper from Volkswagen. I have seen that before.
I have not seen that. That's awesome. Who doesn't like a good sausage, Jay? Right, chat? Am I right? I'm right.
Yeah.
Right? Good sausage. And banned. All right. Let's see. All right, now I've gotten to the part of the chat where people are saying what's the average cost of a high-end enthusiast grade group buy board.
I've had a look through, and it seems to be people are saying it's somewhere between $450 and $550 on average. Like £600 is going to be upper limit for most group buys, and I think that's probably fair. Yeah, it's probably fair.
Andromeda was $750. Andromeda is like a super premium board, though. That's like no expense spared kind of design, and AIO3 was very upfront about that as well. Yeah,
it's a great looking board as well. It's a great looking board. I wish I'd have tried to get hold of one at the time, but I didn't. But hey, such is regret. That's how these things happen.
Yeah. So it seems like around maybe $550 is what most people consider the average price for a premium
which I think
board.
Is fine. I think that's fine.
It seems, yeah. I mean, it seems like fairly normal these days, right?
Yeah, that feels fairly normal. And here's Upas as well for 21 months of subs. Thank you, man. That's it's getting on there for 3 Top Clack babies. There, you've had 2 now. You're on your way to your 3rd. He says, "What's up, Top Clack?" So thank you very much, Upas. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Porcupine is asking, what's your keyboard of the year, Brian? What of all of the keyboards of 2020? What's your keyboard of the year?
Like keyboard that I've presumably received this year, right? Not like something I've joined but haven't gotten yet.
I think it's something we have to have experienced in 2020. I think if we're going to set some rules around it, it has to be something you've either built or typed on in 2020. What's been your keyboard of the year in 2020?
Oh man. Man, this is gonna be such an easy answer, and I hate always giving easy answers, but it's got to be the Iron 165. I really do think that board kind of just blew me away. The whole plate theory on that board is just stupendous, and it's an absolute joy to use, and I can't wait to rebuild it with some tactiles. But yeah, that one definitely is probably my favorite board, and the most surprised I've been by a board in 2020.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good answer. I honestly don't know is the answer to mine. There's so many boards that I could pick out. You said the Iron 165. You know, I built the Iron 180 a couple of weeks ago. I really enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed building the Skog last weekend. I know that's still a prototype, but that was a really, really good build experience for me. The Juby barely left my desk after I got it. That's just to the side of me over here. The Juby is amazing as a board. The thermal as well, which is just up here on the shelf above me. That's stunning as a board as well. I really love the aesthetic. I'd be hard pushed to pick a keyboard of the year this year. I just really think I'd struggle to pick one.
Yeah, see, this is a tough question for me because it's currently December 11th, and before the year is over, there's a high chance I'm going to have 3 or 4 more boards. 3 or 4 more, like, really nice, like, boards that could compete for, like, potential board of the year for me. So it's hard to say. You know, we'll see once the Tengu comes in, once the Prophet comes in, once the Heine TKL comes in, once I build this Ogre. Maybe this Ogre is freaking amazing. A lot of people have been really enjoying theirs. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a great question, but like for me it's bad timing because this month I have so many things I'm going to experience keyboard wise. You know, at the very end of the year. So that question could be different for me 3 weeks from now.
I'm interested to see your thoughts on the Ogre. I'm really, really interested to see your thoughts on that because I didn't get one, and I'm really sad that I didn't get one. I missed out on that, but I'm kind of really interested by it. So
yeah, it should be pretty cool. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'll probably be building it on Monday. I'll of course announce that beforehand in the Discord, but Monday is my current planned day, so that should be pretty cool. I need to see how it's built because it's a little different. There's like a little build video for it, I think. So need to check that out still.
Yeah. Vogon PT quoting the Volkswagen parts catalogue here. He says, Currywurst, which is the sausages that we were talking about before, has been branded as an official Volkswagen original part, being designated with a number. I won't read that out. There are 6.81 million of them manufactured in 2018. The automaker makes more sausages per year than cars. VW also produces a special ketchup and a line of cutlery specifically made to accompany the currywurst. So there you go, guys. Today is educational because now you know that Volkswagen make more sausages than cars in a year.
Oh my gosh, what an interesting fact. That is amazing. I had no idea. They did anything involving the culinary world. So that is a really interesting thing. I'm like, can I get this in the U.S.? I'm curious to know like what their sausages and ketchups taste like.
Yeah, Vogan, we're gonna have a chat after the show today. And we're gonna see if we can get hold of some Volkswagen currywurst, some Volkswagen ketchup, and some Volkswagen cutlery. We're gonna see if we can do that after the show today. We're gonna go for it.
Yeah, now
I will eat them on stream. There we go.
I need to get some of these as well. We need to figure something out here. We just need to have we need to have a streak. Oh, perfect. Streaking Bison in chat says sausage party. Yeah, we need to have a top Clack sausage party, guys. You know you want to be there. You know you want it.
Top Clack sausage mukbang. That's the words, right? That's the right phrase.
Oh man, what a title that'll be. Oh my gosh. Nerdy says, want flippers to chill out, do what the gaming community is doing with the RTX cards and don't pay it until more supply arrives. But like it's so hard to do that because there's always going to be people that have more money and they don't care. And they'll just buy it because they can afford it and it doesn't matter.
And with the graphics card, it's a rotating stock, right? They have some in, they sell out. They have some in, they sell out. It's not the same with keyboard group buys. You do 200, and then that's it. Unless you run around 2, it's not quite the same. And people want stuff, right? The community is big enough that the demand is there for pretty much everything. So it's difficult to get to that point. And Aos asks if we're doing unlimited JO2 run. Probably not. Like, it's there's a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts in the JO2. There's 3 different gaskets, 4 different case parts, 3 different types of screw. You've got daughter boards and plates and God knows what else on top. It's a lot of stuff to keep track of. I don't think I'd want to do unlimited. I'm not saying there wouldn't ever be a round 2 of it, but it wouldn't be anytime soon, and I probably want to redesign the board. I want to sit down with James and go over the design and change some stuff up like we did with the JO1. So yeah, I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying anytime soon.
Yeah. Nerdy says, speaking of the JO2, a friend of mine just got one and has not stopped raving about it. Now I want one. Oof. I believe it, man. I believe it.
Yeah. Scrolling through chat.
Japanitrat is asking, what is the plate theory of the Iron 165? So I mean, it's designed in. I forgot there's actually a term for it, right? But I forgot what it is. But like, it's designed in such a way to use specific relief cuts within the plate to kind of offer a more consistent overall experience, regardless of where you're typing on the board. It sounds simple, but it's really unique. Most boards don't do that to that degree. At least there was actually like a lot of science behind it, and they were like, I'm still forgetting the name, but they had like that graph that showed like the thermal signature of how like the typing experience should be based on where you're typing on the board. And the idea is that they tried to take action to make the entire typing experience as even and consistent as possible, no matter what key you're pressing. And I feel like, I don't know if I want to say it's perfect, but like the fact that they've got it as fine-tuned as they did makes the board actually a super joy to type on. It feels like a truly, truly high-end board. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Jay.
Yeah, no, Mr. Petrov says, Brian, the Xeno is not coming by the end of the year, man. Let it go.
The Xeno, I sold my group buy spot for the same price. I didn't flip or anything, and it was official through Zeal, so no flame, please. But yeah, no, I got out of that group buy and sold my spot. Yeah, did those ever ship? Have those all shipped yet, or are people still waiting?
I don't think so. I know some of them have shipped. I think they've been shipping all year, but I don't think they're all shipped yet. I don't know that. I haven't looked into it for a long time.
Yeah, because I feel like when I sold my spot, some people already had theirs, and it was still quite a while ago. Bug Whisper says, Thermal is my favorite RamaWorks board. That's still a board that I really need to check out. If anyone needs a Thermal built, let me know. I must try.
Thermal is a good board. I really enjoy mine. Yeah, it's nice. Mr. Petrov says, why do we see some great boards hampered by crappy PCBs? 3 examples come to mind immediately. The Space 65, the Matrix 1.20G, and the LZ Physics. I guess a lot of it comes down to just who they get to do the designs, right? Like, it depends on who's doing the design for the PCBs. Like, famously, Liku PCBs are terrible, whereas some of the PCBs are really sought after, like Wilbur's. And I think it just comes down to the designers. Yeah. They're relatively basic, the PCBs that we use in this hobby. They don't need too much things in the way of features and controls and components. But yeah, it all comes down to who they use to design them, I think.
Yeah, totally. Aren't Matrix PCBs historically not very good too? From like years ago?
I still don't think they're particularly good. The one in my Matrix Noah is already gone. I had to move over to the spare PCB for that one. So yeah, I've still got a Matrix. What have I got? I think I've got an Able and a 1.2 to build as well in my personal build queue. So yeah, but I haven't tried those PCBs out yet. I haven't tested them or anything yet, so we'll see.
I feel like in the Western enthusiast community we have a lot of really good PCB designers, and I don't know, I feel like, I mean, Matrix and what's that, Great, who does the Space, is it Gray Studio?
Yes.
Yeah, those are Eastern based companies, and I feel like for whatever reason Eastern PCB designers don't do as good of a job as Western PCB designers. I have no idea. I have no idea why. But like here we have Heine. There's Wilbur, super popular.
Gundalindrim, Yankar, AIO3, some really, really well-known names that do a lot of PCB designs. Upas does them,
I guess AIO3 is he's back in Japan now, right? He's technically in the... Yeah, in the East. So, maybe hit up AIO3 to do some PCBs. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Western PCB designers just tend to do a better job. And I don't mean that in like a mean way, because as far as like Eastern design goes, I think as far as case design, I think the Eastern designers are willing to take way more risks, and I'm much a bigger fan of a lot of the stuff they do versus a lot of the Western designers, which tend to play it a lot safer, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Look at all the original Canoe PCBs. So many of those failed, and people had to, jump to the switches to the microcontroller and resolder microcontrollers and stuff like that. It was kind of a big thing. Chronoman27 asked an interesting question. He said, what are your thoughts on the Q files being released? This is Quantrix Q. So I think he released the files and open sourced them a couple of weeks ago, which means that you can now go and use them as long as you don't use them for commercial purposes. So as long as you don't make a profit off of it or sell on the parts or anything like that, you can actually go and have one of those boards produced. It's kind of interesting. It's not the first board to be open sourced. There's other versions of other boards out there that are open sourced. I think it's fine. It's nice for him to share the design. I think for the average individual, going ahead and getting a case machined isn't always the easiest thing to look at and to understand how to do. So there might be some technical challenges for a lot of people from that perspective. And I would argue personally, I've never been a fan of the board. It's not one for me. From the couple that I've built and typed on, I've never owned one, but I've built one on stream for someone. I've tried one at the Seattle meetup. It's never been a board that's particularly enthralled me. But if people are interested in it, they can go ahead and take a look at it now.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I always like seeing open source stuff, so I have no negative complaints from me on that one. Okay, so not most of the Xenos have shipped, but not all of them. Okay. Mr. Petrov still has not shipped. Unfortunate.
Rip Petrov.
When was that group buy? Has it been?
It's 2018, right?
That's what I'm thinking, right? Was it 2018? Someone in chat will know. Do you guys remember what month/year the Xeno group buy ran? I know it was over a year ago. It was
late 2018, early 2019. It ran for quite a long time, though. It was open for like 3 or 4 months, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like there was a reason for that, but now I can't remember. I feel like there was like an early price, like if you bought it. Oh man, it was open. It was open for like 4 or 5 months, I think. Yeah, that was an interesting group buy.
Agent Hubcap says 2020 was the year of gasket mount. What do you see as the next big thing for keyboards?
Oh man, we get this question a lot too. Like, what's the next trend? What the next hotness is going to be?
Optical switches need to see some more light is one thing I would hope for, and I think 2021 we will see
very nice.
More top mount boards in group buy as well. I think top mount will come back in a big way in 2021.
Yeah, man, you know what I would really like to see in 2020? A really good stabilizer.
Yes, I mean 2021, right? Not 2020
or 2021. Sorry, yeah. I mean, I know, like, it's hard to call that a trend, but man, I would just love to see like a really good stabilizer.
That would be,
Even if they're twice the price, even if they're twice the price as other stabilizers, I still want to see a really nice, no fuss stabilizer that is just accessible and good.
Yeah, GMK is still working on their new stabilizers, so it'll be interesting to see how those come out. I don't know if I know Ram is still working on his, and they haven't been released yet, but they've been teased for a couple of years now.
Yeah, it's cool that they're doing it, but I mean, until we get like some more finite information on timeline, I think it's kind of just up in the air, and it's hard to want to pin that down,
Yeah, and I did have a look at some compliant mechanism options, but the issue with using compliant mechanisms is trying to get the mechanism to stay in the same footprint as a standard stabilizer and not require new footprints on PCBs, which is a struggle. So there are limitations, but yeah, really good stabilizer would be nice.
Yeah. IP99, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, my friend. 13 months. A lot of
nice, 13 months.
A lot of sweat smiles there. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I feel you. I feel you, dog. 10 Peaches says 2 years ago, isn't it? We're talking about the Zeno group buy. Huey did a YouTube video on it covering everything. He said it's 2 years anniversary for the group buy. Interesting. So,
yeah, so someone confirmed further up in chat that it was November 2018 to February 2019, so it was open for 4 months.
That's right. That's right.
DRN RCR says the next big thing is in-stock buys. So I think we'll see more of them, but I don't think we've seen the demise of the group buy model yet. No. I think we're still going to see group buys for at least the next couple of years, if not longer. But yeah, we will start to see more in-stock group buys. In-stock products like the Moda 80. That was an in-stock product quite recently. There's going to be more products like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, once vendors have that kind of comfortable capital, then I think we'll see a lot more of that. But I think we still have a little growing to do for sure. Japan says 2021/22 new HHKB cases with Norbauer plates.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, people designing around Norbauer's plate. Maybe.
Interesting. Has he stated that he'll either open source or individually sell the plate?
No, but I imagine if he's done it, it will open the floodgates to other people producing something similar, right? There'll be competitors to his throne, I imagine. People will try and make the same thing or something slightly different.
Yeah. Man, that I am really interested in that heavy grail, that HHKB case.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It's been a long time coming. I remember having dinner with Norbauer, guys, 2 or 3 years ago now, before a Seattle meetup, and we were talking about like logistics of a custom HHKB, and like it is so complex, man. It is so complex. I'm really glad that he finally was able to nail this down and put out a product that he's happy with, because I have no doubts that it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm tempted to buy a HHKB just to buy one of his cases and convert it all over. I'm tempted to do just that. Yeah.
Yep. And I bet you wouldn't regret it either. Also, shout out to Mex on Deck, who had a Norbauer interview just the other day. I think it was 1 or 2 or 3 days ago that I checked out. They had Norbauer on the show. It was nice. A great interview. They had some great questions for him. And if you guys have never heard Norbauer talk, you are really missing out, because he just is so elegant and eloquent, and he just knows like everything, man. Like he's one of the 2 people in the community I could sit down and I feel like I could talk to for the rest of my life and I would not get bored. Him and Hata, I think, are the 2 most interesting people in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I met Norbauer at the Seattle meetup last year, and the man is a gentleman. He actually sent me a note the next day to thank me for spending time with him, and it's like,
hashtag Norbauer things.
What? Like he was just genuinely the nicest person.
He's like the kind of guy I wish I was.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a huge nerd, and he's not afraid to admit it as well, which is the cool thing.
He's incredibly nerdy, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he did work.
He lives and breathes that. And breathes it.
He did prop work, I think, for Gene Roddenberry. So like,
that's
pretty nerdy. Which is awesome. We'd love to see that. Retine is asking, have you tried the version 2 of the Durox stabilizers, Quakeums? I don't know if I have. Which ones are version 2?
So the part where the wire clips into the housing has changed, and it's kind of more looped around. I haven't tried them as yet, but I do have some on the way. So as soon as I get them in, I'll try them out. But yeah, there's a few people had them in the community now, but they're only just starting to trickle out.
Oh, okay. So the Ultramarine stabilizer is probably still V1, I assume.
I'm 99% certain they're V1s.
And I think the Ultramarine Durox stabilizers are the newest ones that I've used.
Yes, these are V1s. Yeah, I've got some here. I'm just gonna check. Yeah, they're V1s. Yes, they're the Ultramarine ones are V1s. Yeah.
So have you tried the V2 yet, Jay?
Not yet. No, I have got some coming. They're on the way, but I haven't got them in as yet.
Gotcha. Mr. Petrov asking, how do vendors think about diversifying their supplier risk, particularly vis-a-vis Chinese CNC/factory/manufacturers?
They think about it constantly, would be my honest answer. Or at least I do. There's a lot of complexity in it, though. If I could do everything in-house, I would. Like, absolutely, I would do it in-house. The means and the resources just aren't available to me as yet, but hopefully in time that will happen. The challenge you've got is that there is a known quantity from the manufacturers that vendors use. They know what they can expect from a quality perspective, they know what they can expect from a timing perspective, and they know what they can expect from a cost perspective. To diversify that and to use multiple factories means that in the same group buy, you might end up having to ship out 2 classifications of boards. I might ship a board to Brian and a board to Chewy, and because they've come from different manufacturers, the tolerances might be slightly different, the quality might be slightly different, the finish might be slightly different, the colors might be slightly different, and it's a real toss-up between diversifying your investment in the group buy to try and make sure that you're as safe as possible versus having a singular supply chain and a singular point of control, and it's really difficult to flip that around. Keycore have been incredibly brave with it because they've used China manufacturers, they've used Salvan, and they've done stuff in-house as well, and they've still managed to maintain their quality, which is unbelievable. It's crazy good. That's really brave, but they have sold a lot of boards by now, and they've got a good working capital that has enabled them to make those steps and those changes. And I don't think other vendors are too far behind. I think certain people who are in more of a maker mindset than a vendor mindset will absolutely migrate towards that over time as resources allow. But the trick to that is having the resources available to do it. Like it's no secret that I've already tried and had issues with Haas and looked at CNC machines, and if anyone wants to talk to me about it, feel free to drop me a DM. I would absolutely go in that direction if I could right now, but COVID kind of stopped a lot of that investment.
Yeah. Streaking Bison says, not Jay. Geez, Brian. I think he's referring to when I was talking about Hata and Nordbauer. Look, if you've ever sat down and had a beer with Nordbauer or Hata, you would completely understand what I'm talking about. It's just they're like not like other humans. Like they're just way too interesting, and they've done way too much in their lives for how old they are, and they just have so many amazing stories to tell. Do you know Hata biked across Japan?
What?
Yeah, and he told me some very interesting stories about his journey throughout. I'm not going to repeat this, but you know, it's the kind of conversation you sit down, you have a couple drinks, and it's just like you just can't wait to hear the next part because like you never saw it coming, and it's really really
wow.
Yeah. So I used to think I was interesting, then I'm like, oh my god, I am boring. I am nothing compared to these guys.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. That's really crazy. I didn't realize he'd done that.
Yeah. You know, Nordbauer did work at NASA. You know, he made and sold a dating website, if I'm not mistaken. That would later be the foundation of OkCupid, if I recall, a very popular one. So, I mean, he's and like I mentioned earlier, he's worked for Gene Roddenberry. You know, the creator of why is the name slipping?
Star Trek.
Yes. I was about to say Star Wars, but I was like, that is not right. That is not right at all.
I was really tempted then to just let you fluff over it for like a minute or so, but I thought, no,
I would have came up on other shows, because I know Gene Roddenberry's done quite a few, including Andromeda, which is something I grew up on.
He did do Andromeda, yeah.
Shout out to, what is his name? Kevin Sorbo.
Yes, Kevin Sorbo, and
also
who else was in it?
I'm
I'm gonna have to look it up now.
I don't remember. This is a throwback for me. This is something I grew up watching, like Xena and Hercules and Andromeda.
Yeah. Yeah, Dylan Hunt. Oh, Kevin Sorbo's Dylan Hunt. Man, I remember that. Becca, Tia, and Seamus. Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo is kind of bad now, FYI. I don't keep up with these people at all. The last time I even saw Kevin Sorbo was probably 20 years ago when I was watching Hercules.
I didn't know about. I haven't even kept him. I have no idea what Kevin Sorbo's done, so I have no idea if he's bad now or not. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he's ever been a good actor or anything, so he's just kind of been there. I don't know, that's a topic we don't need to talk about, though, I guess. Anyways, I think now's probably a good time to do a quick shout out for our sponsors before we head off for the day. But we'll of course come back to a little bit more conversation after we talk about the sponsors. And yeah, we'll answer any final questions before we take off. Make sure you guys are using the @TopClack tag too. It helps us pick them out from chat quite a bit easier. All right, let me scroll over here. I was totally prepared for this, Jay. Don't ever question that I'm not. So anyways, first and foremost, we have the wonderful novel keys. You guys know them. You guys love them. Doing lots of things right now, including, but of course not limited to, this NK65 Olivia edition, which is pretty interesting. So it's going to come with an Olivia DSS key set that's particularly made for the board. It's going to come with switches, stabilizers, PCB, cable, carrying case, the whole nine. It's just a full product, which is always awesome to see, and it comes in at $230. So pretty awesome stuff there. It's hard to find that much value in other keyboards of the hobby, so NK65 gets the big thumbs up from me. I've been loving mine, and it's great to see so many of them rather in the community these days. If you're not really looking to purchase a keyboard, there's definitely a lot of key sets in the works as well. So GMK Serica 2 is currently live, so if you missed out on the first one or you didn't want to spend $500 on the aftermarket for a set, well, here you go. You can get a base kit starting at 110, pretty darn good desk pads as well. GMK Yuri also seeing around too, so if you missed that out last time and you don't want to spend exorbitant amounts of money on the aftermarket for them, bam, here you go, $120 base kit. Hard to argue with that. Barring that, there's lots of other desk mats, switches, stabilizers, films, you name it, they might have it, lube. So if you're buying anything in stock as well, make sure to use the promo code ClickClack, one word, no caps. That'll get you 5% off your in-stock orders, guys. It'll also show Mike of Novel Keys that you might love us. Just a little bit. Tiny bit. That much.
Oh, bless me. A sneeze caught up with me then.
You are blessed, sir.
I apologize. Thank you.
By me, unfortunately. I'm not religious, so the blessing means nothing, but I'll bless you.
Okay, right. It came from you, so it means something. Next up, we have Kono.store. A few things to talk about from Kono this week. They have got a couple of GMK group buys going on. Well, 3 to be exact. They've got GMK Hanami Dango, and I hope I pronounced that right.
That was pretty close, Dango. Actually. Yeah, not bad.
Okay, which is kind of like a whole cute green and pink coloured set, which I think we did talk about in IC a very long time ago. As well as that, there's also GMK Amethyst, which is still in group buy, coming up towards the end of the group buy now, which if you like purples and colours like that might be right up your street. It's a pretty nice set, I must admit. And then finally, they've also got a GMK Alpine in group buy as well. So if you like mountain ranges, you like Edelweiss and things like that, well, that might be the set for you. It's kind of got some muted greyish purple tones. It's a very nice looking set, and for those of you folks, there is a Nordic kit as well. As well as that, they've also got the typical pre-orders that you can do for all of the GMK sets and SA sets and everything else that they've run if you've missed them, so please do go take a look at that. And in terms of switches, they've also got the EVA 02 switches, I believe, in group buy as well, which are the nice red and cream and orangey yellow coloured switches as well. So they're up in group buy now at $6.50 for 10.
Not too bad. All right. Moving on, over on KBDfans, there's a few things coming in the works very soon. So they have... This has got to be one of my favorite names for a keyboard. So this is Beep's Boop. So Beep, obviously a prolific designer within the community, does key sets, keyboards, and other various things. And this is his newest keyboard project, the Boop, which, as you can see, is a very kind of fun-looking 65%, very kind of rounded corners over here. This is actually pretty nice looking. I like this quite a bit. So that's going to be coming in the works. Looks like it'll be starting around $320. So definitely on the lookout for that one. Alongside that, he also has a new key set design he's going to be releasing called Wraith. This is an Enjoy PBT set. Looks like it has fairly okay compatibility, and it's kind of one of those very interesting sets. I don't know what is this based on. Do you know, Jay?
I have no idea.
I don't know
Not
either.
got a clue.
This is a really kind of out there set for me that I have no context on because I'm just not smart enough. However, it does look very, very interesting. I'm always kind of a fan of those kind of more vintage looking layouts where it almost looks like a POS board of sorts. POS being point of sale, not piece of shit, by the way, guys. Yeah, barring that, there's also lots of products on KBDfans. So, especially if you're newer to the hobby and maybe your wallet isn't quite as fat as some of the other people around the hobby, this is a really good place to be because they have a lot of really good entry level stuff, a lot of high value stuff. Whether you're looking for fully built keyboards, you're just looking for parts, plates, PCBs, switches, stabilizers. There's a little something for everyone here. It's certainly more of a one-stop shop these days, which is pretty awesome. So definitely make sure to check that out if you're newer to the hobby in particular.
Absolutely, yeah. Moving over to our final sponsor today, it is the wonderful Leandrin from Mekanisk. Leandrin's got a few things going on the site right now. You can pick up the Ultramarine stabilizers, which I was looking at earlier on. You can also pick up an in-stock WT60D PCB, that great 60% PCB designed by Wilbur, flex cut, ANSI, ISO, you name it, it supports it. It's a really solid PCB, a good contender for pretty much any 60% build, and you can pick one of those up in stock as well. In terms of other things that's coming soon, he does have the Ultramarine Switches, which are coming soon. I know Brian checked these out, and I put them in my Iron 180 a couple of weeks ago. So I'm really excited for those to actually be available. And he's also working on some pretty sneaky-looking desk mats as well, if you guys have been watching over on his Instagram. So definitely check that out if you are interested.
Yeah, nice, simple, I think it's katakana desk mats. These are really, really nice. I like this. I'm definitely
they're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. I need some new desk mats, and I feel like this is a good contender.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. The Ultramarine in particular. They should be up this month, from what I understand, later on this month.
Yeah, but both the switches and the desk mats have a tentative date of December, so hopefully very soon. All right, guys. Let's see a couple questions here. Bug Whisper, do you think we'll get more new profiles in response to keycap delays? Or is this the profile scape saturated enough, or too many potential issues with colorways? Ooh, interesting question. I don't know. I always feel like we don't have enough profiles that I think about it, and we actually do have a lot of profiles in the community that people don't really talk about.
Cherry, SA, OEM, DSS, DSA, DCS, CAT, CAM, MG. That's 9 just off the top of my head.
Yeah, MT3. There are a lot. There are actually a lot, and I feel like a lot of them don't really get used. Maybe because they're not as popular. Maybe because a lot of the designers that are putting out new colorways and designing key sets don't care for them as much. It's hard to say, but I feel like there are a lot of profiles in the community that could be used a lot more. DCS. I mean, can we see a return of DCS? Look at the queue time. Red Alert shipped in how many weeks?
2.5 months.
Yeah, it was quick.
10 weeks or less. Yeah,
it was quick. Yeah, and gosh, man, we need some more DCS, man. I love me some DCS.
We do. Yes.
But yeah, there's so many profiles that I think people often kind of forget about, or just otherwise glance over, that I think could get used a lot more. With that said, obviously, more profiles, not necessarily a bad thing. So, depending on what's kind of coming out, I'm definitely interested. But as far as, do we think we'll see more profiles in response to keycap delays? Maybe, but maybe not immediately, right now. But maybe another year or two.
If I was going to guess, I think what we might see is another player step into the market that does cherry profile in double shot to take on the likes of GMK and JTK. I think there might be some more players in that space. That would be the first thing we would see.
It's true. We've seen Enjoy PBT actually come to the market with double shot ABS as well. Not nearly as successfully as GMK, perhaps, but they're still adding to the competition, if nothing else. So it's always cool to see more options.
Yeah, Rama Kate does look good actually.
Oh yeah, yes,
it does look kind of interesting. Shame it's probably not going to have all the compatibility I'd like it to have, but it does look pretty interesting as a profile.
Yeah, well, you got to start somewhere, I suppose. Maybe in the future, if the profile's popular enough, we can get the molds for everything.
Absolutely. Japan also asks, has one of you tried Melgeek's MG keycap profile? And if yes, what are your thoughts on it? So I do have a set. I haven't extensively typed on them, but they're pretty nice. The quality of them is exceptional, to be honest with you. And I know that some people in top Clack Discords, which you can join below, are also big fans of it. Nebulant in particular, I think, mentioned that he was a big fan of those. I'm pretty sure it was Nebulant.
Yeah. I like Neb because he's a fan of like the really obscure profiles. Not only MG, but I think he's a really big fan of MD. It's either XDA or MDA, but I think MDA is the mix or whatever it's called. I have not used it. That's the one that it looks like SA, but it's kind of modeled after Topra High Pro, if I recall.
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah,
which is cool. I'm a really big fan of Topra High Pro, but to me, like it has to be on like a Topra board. So I'm not sure how I'd feel about it in an MX format, because Topra is obviously a lot less. No, I guess it's a lot more stable. So like it's a lot meatier of a press. There's not as much wobble. It feels a little bit more precise to me. So I feel like that's why the Topra High Pro is really successful. They're just like nice little finger. I forgot who used the term, but someone used to say finger couches. I was always a big fan of that.
Okay.
Very, very concave keycaps. Big fan.
I can see that. Yeah. Vogon PT says the Wraith set is based on the ZX Spectrum, same as the Cam Wraith, but white and black. Oh, there you go. Fair
enough.
Thank you very much, Vogon, for confirming that. Yeah, there we go.
Now I feel extra stupid because I forgot about Cam Wraith.
Yeah. Bug Whisper says limited edition, solid gold, Rama Kate, ISO enter, right up my street. Yeah, sign me up. Where do I sign?
Jay's already down for 100.
Hey, I didn't say 100.
I know,
maybe one.
I know.
If it's solid gold, I did not mean 100. Yes.
Half the things I say are jokes, guys. Just like a good 50%. Japanatrat says, I wish there was a die sub DSS. That's
yeah.
I mean,
it's only ABS though, isn't it? That's the thing. So you're actually asking for a complete change of material to PBT, which means whole new molds and everything else. So I imagine if that happens, that'll be quite some time away.
Yeah. I mean, their
Signature Plastics might do it.
Their DSA line has both PBT and ABS rather. So I don't. Yeah. It wouldn't be unheard of to see
a
die sub
SA.
PBT.
They don't have SA and PBT.
Yeah, that's true. We don't see very many PBT SA sets.
No, Ice Caps.
Shout out to SA Ice Caps, yeah. Honestly, it feels great too. Like I've typed on the PBT SA sets. I like them way more than the ABS version, personally. Yeah, some die sub DSS though. I'd be down for some PBT DSS and other acronyms.
So Weiser comes back and says, is SA the brand as well as the profile? No, so Signature Plastics makes a lot of SA keycaps. SA is a profile. There are other people who also make SA keycaps as well. So Max Keys would be a good example of someone else who makes SA keycaps. But I believe that it was Signature Plastics who created the profile back in the 70s or whatever it was, years and years ago. Yeah. And then it's just been taken up by other companies since then as well. So no, SA is very much a kind of a Signature Plastics thing originally, but it's the profile itself. James says, why don't we see die subbed ABS? Is it a processing? Yes, melt, it's right? It's the temperatures that ABS can take. They would absolutely melt if you tried to imprint them, and you'd have like a melted mess because you need like a certain temperature for the legend. So the legend's like on a print head. It's a little bit more complex than this, but it's like the legends are effectively printed on, and the ink is embedded into the keycap with heat. Dye sublimation. Sublimation is a process of joining two things with heat. So ABS keycaps just wouldn't accept the heat tolerances of doing that.
Yeah.
Which is why they tend to be double shot.
ABS has a much lower melting point, if you will.
Correct. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, it does. It has much lower tolerance for heat. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are fully caught up with chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
that feels good.
all right.
It was a good show.
It feels good. Yeah, we hit just about the 2 hour mark. That's pretty good. Can't really complain about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and play Cyberpunk. I think I'm gonna go home play Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna go install it because Jay, you were very kind enough to give me a spare key that you had, which was incredibly nice of you.
You are more than welcome. I'm playing it on PlayStation, so I wasn't going to use my PC code for it. So you're more than welcome to do it. More than welcome.
You're such an angel, man. Such an angel. I'm gonna go install that, and maybe I'll start playing it today too.
I'm surprised you haven't had it installing whilst we've been streaming. To be honest, I thought it'd be downloading in the background.
Legitimately, I considered clicking it, but I was like, I don't want this to somehow affect stream quality. So I'll just wait till after the stream to install it, because it's still, for me, it's still early on in my day. It's not even afternoon for me yet. It's still kind of morning. So, just my life things. All right, everyone. Awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today. You can check below the stream. You can find our Discord. You can come join that. Come talk about your favorite cheeses and your favorite keyboards and maybe your favorite music. There's a little something for everyone there. And do we have any upcoming streams, Jay? What's your plans for build streams?
I do. So on Sunday on stream, we're going to check out the element of the SCOG that we didn't get to check out last week, which was the whole Bluetooth. So we're going to check that out now that I've got everything ready for that. I've soldered my battery and cable together, so that's all ready to go. So we're going to check that out on stream. And then I will do a build, but I don't know what build it will be as yet. I will work something out. I've got a few boards in the queue that I could pick up. So we'll work something out for the build. Awesome. But there will be normal stream on Sunday.
Nice. Okay, so following Jay's build stream on Sunday, on Monday, I'm going to be building an Ogre, a Zekenworks Ogre, 60%. That's going to be a really awesome build. My time, I'm going to be looking for either 4 p.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. Pacific on Monday. I'll have a more finite timeline nailed down in the Discord and the announcements, of course, if you're interested in checking that out. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I have my Project Keyboards Tengu coming in. I already have shipping notification for that, as well as my Heine TKL1. And it's possible I'll be getting my my Prophet this month as well. So lots of build streams coming up for me for the first time in a while. Usually I have nothing to build, and all of a sudden I'm going to have multiple things to build, which is very awesome and very new.
Nice. I was trying to work out how long my build queue is the other day, and I think if I do a build every Sunday, I think I can probably get through the most of 2021 doing a build stream every Sunday. But I do have someone who I've traded some time. They're going to come and use my laser cutter for a day, and in return they're going to catalog my keyboard collection, keycaps and everything. So they're getting free time on the machine in exchange for cataloging my collection. So that'll be nice to actually have a finalized list of what I do and don't have. I'm excited for that.
Nice. That's awesome. So yeah, look forward to those build streams, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream as much as we did. I enjoy these chill streams. I feel like we get a lot of good natural conversation and interaction with Twitch chat with these. Comfy streams, says nice. Bug Whisperer. Yes, very comfy. I like it comfy. I just realized my music paused like a while ago, and I have no idea how long ago that was. I'm trying to find someone to raid now. Who should we raid, guys?
The only person I can see who's online is Mekanisk.
Same. I'm looking through makers and crafting right now. I do see one other keyboard streamer. Let me check this person out. Maybe make sure they're actually doing some keyboard stuff here. Their name is Salted Pork, and like, how could that be a bad thing, right?
Salted Pork. I haven't found them yet. Oh yeah, Salted Pork. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Let's raid Salted Pork.
I have never watched this person, but hopefully this is a cool, nice, fun, chill keyboard stream, and this is a very wholesome person. Soran is live. What is Soren's Twitch channel? We'll raid Salted Pork this time because we've already kind of established this. But for future reference, what is Soren's channel? I don't think I've seen him live yet.
I don't know. We can raid Soren next time though. We definitely keep Soren on the list because Soren is a good guy. Yeah, no, I fully agree. I didn't even know he streamed, to be honest. Does he stream to a different category? Not sure.
Yeah.
Anyways. I'll find it and I'll add it to our list of things that we follow on top. I'll find it after the stream.
For sure. All right, we'll raid Salted Pork this time. So get ready, guys. We'll say something wholesome, even if it's just quite literally something wholesome. Totally fine, or some kind of compliment thereof. because, you know, that's what we like. Spread some love, guys, in this freaking ridiculous, chaotic world that we currently live in. Alright. We're starting the raid, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream today, guys, and yeah, look forward to Jay's build stream on Sunday, my build stream on Monday, and many more to come after that, of course.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. See you later.